So I haven't done the behind the scenes like I said I would. I apologize. So I'm back, and most of you probably noticed that, well, not most of you, I should say. I should say the people that follow me on Facebook already know that I announced Infamous the other day. Let me turn my TV off. I announced Infamous The Duel last night. This is what my original idea was, is that I wanted to create a dueling inverted coaster, which is where Infamous came to be. But now, with the ability of No Limits 2, I am now able to have two coasters in one park, and now my original idea has come to fruition, and I want to make a dueling inverted coaster. One is yellow to represent Second Son, aka Delson Row, and then the other one is blue. That one represents Cole McGrath. As if that wasn't already obvious. Um, Now I do have this video clip I could actually show you guys right here. So this is just one of the few elements that's available into the ride. It's a zero-G roll. Delson actually goes under, but then Cole actually goes above, and he spins in the opposite direction. This is the progress that I did make last night. However, I have made some bit of progress since last night. I've tweaked the zero-G rolls a little bit, and I've also added the mid-course background and the drops, which you have seen on my Facebook page if you follow me. Another thing that I wanted to do is I never gave you guys the behind the scenes video for Firefly No Limits 2 edition like I said I would, so I'm going to do that right now. And I am also using my Pulse Elite headset now, so my voice may sound a little bit different. Let's wait forever for this to load. And it will take forever. Alright, here we go. So, um, now with most of the questions that I got on YouTube, a lot of you would notice that I said quite a few times that I separated it into a bunch of small pieces, which I was not exaggerating at all. The camera is a piece, the midway is a piece, the sign is another piece. Here's the really small lights that light up the sign. These are all exported as separate objects, so that way in the No Limits 2 simulator they show up that way, because the lights have to be configured separately. Otherwise, lining up the light bulbs with the lights would be near impossible if it was all one big piece. And then here's another thing that actually changed from the No Limits 1 to the No Limits 2 edition is this roof was actually raised um, by 0.3 meters, I believe. So a 0.3 meter difference, and that was actually I did that because I wanted to be able to actually walk into the booth in walk mode in No Limits 2, because otherwise it would get stuck. I added the folders in the clipboard just like a regular ride might have. I used to work at Great America, so that's how I know that. And here's your row 1 queue line. SketchUp 2013 is glitchy. Yeah, here's your row 1 queue line, and then there's the rest of the rails. This rail right here actually separates the unload platform from the load platform, and these line up with the gates from the No Limits simulator. And then this ramp actually goes underground. These fences will line up with the tunnel that is actually created within No Limits. So what I did in No Limits is I created a straight track on these stairs and onto this pathway right here, and then I set it to have a tunnel, so that way my model can go underground. I've actually seen a few people on No Limits Exchange do that before. There was one ride that I saw that had a underground bunker, which was pretty cool. So the inspiration kind of comes from that. And then the Firefly symbol was moved from here onto my queue house, which the queue house actually gives a fantastic view of the ride when you're standing in it. And then by request, I actually got this request from back when Ray Courier was released. I added shortcuts here, so these you no longer have to walk through all of them. You could actually just walk straight, turn, and then just bypass all of them. So that way, if the chains are up, you have to walk through all of them. If the chains are down, just walk right past them. because that was one of the problems in Raycare, is that if you were in walk mode, you had to walk through every single queue. And then this actually saw the least amount of changes, believe it or not. The only thing I really did here was removed the track holders right here, and then I removed the window. That was really about it. That's all I changed. I also fixed the color problem that most of you noticed in the No Limits one, where this half of it was green and it wasn't supposed to be green. But I fixed that. I also pushed the windows back a little bit, and I removed the support structure here because that's just generated within No Limits too. And this is also one of the big pieces, so I could just hide that and that's gone. And then this is my photo booth. It's kind of funny though, because I had it out of order. I don't know why I did that. I just didn't really want to put any more textures into the No Limits model, because if I take the pictures and then put them as textures in here, that's just another texture that the simulator has to load, further slowing down the load times. So I think that's the reason why I took it out. Can't remember exactly though. Probably the biggest factor that impacts the performance of the sim though is going to be this perimeter fence that goes all the way around. Well, pretty much all the way around. I originally planned to have it go from this exit ramp back around this way, just like it does on this side. But I didn't, because the performance of the sim was already so bad that it was pointless to do it. I think this fence is kind of useless right here, but all it really does is go from the tunnel in between the entrance. I probably could have gotten rid of that one, but I kept it in there. My favorite part of the model, though, is definitely this sign. I love this sign. It's so much better than the No Limits 1 version, where it just said Firefly on it. This one's actually just got the symbol with no words needed. Um, just a basic 3D sign that's on both sides. So even when you're exiting, you still see that same logo. It's such a distinctive logo. I just love that one. It's probably my favorite out of any logo I've ever made. I'm gonna go ahead and hide that fence. Now, one of the things that I had the most trouble with, though, was definitely this midway. I was getting really frustrated with SketchUp 2013, which I think for Infamous, the Duel, I'm gonna go back to SketchUp 8 because it's better and it's easier to use. But in with this part, with this midway, I kept having problems where when I was drawing it out, it wouldn't fill the areas with the texture. So it would just kind of show up like this. It'll show up empty with the lines like that. And no matter how hard I tried, I could not get it to fill in the area. So eventually what I did is I just deleted the entire midway and rebuilt it from scratch. And that finally solves my problem, believe it or not. Because SketchUp 2013 is a giant pain, and I hated it. So if you guys have any questions or comments about the model at all, or if there's any more statistics that you want to know about, please let me know down in the comments below. And another thing that I'm going to apologize for right now is that I am sorry that the raw POVs for Firefly No Limits 2 Edition are still not out. I'm working on it, and I also need to find a way to make my computer perform well enough to actually record that POV at 30 frames a second, because you guys probably noticed there's quite a bit of lag in the video, or at least in the original video. So that's all I have for you guys for now. Look forward to a few more gameplay videos coming out soon. Also, Infamous, the duels, SketchUp time lapses should start within the next couple of weeks. Thanks to one of my friends Spot One Techno at Newgrounds. I have to thank him because in the new SketchUp time lapses, his new song called Amazing Chicken, or at least the finished version of that song, which I forget the new name of the song. So I will link that down below as well for you guys to go download that. So everyone, have a good night. Enjoy your summer. I'll see you guys again soon.